After 12 o'clock, it is Kayasette, the dub. We also played you something from Asha, Nigerian-born artist there to kick us off on the dub. Once again, good afternoon to you and you and you. I should have told you this earlier on, but I'm going to be having a guest in a short while. In actual fact, they're already here. They go by the name NJ Kunene. Now, you may be asking yourself, who is NJ Kunene and what is their claim to fame? To find all of that out, don't go anywhere. Keep it right here on 95.9. In the studio, NJ.
Yes. Njani
Alright, kunjani nam?
Ngiyaphila.
Thank
You want warm weather, go to Durban.
I was about to say, wakhoba isiZulu esishubile ingathuvela ngale ko KZN. Have you got roots there?
Well, my mom is from Msinga.
Right.
Even though she grew up in Ezola, so ngasincela sona isiZulu.
Wasincela. Oh, that is it. Welcome to the show, Kunene.
Thank you so much for having me.
NJ Kunene. Who is NJ Kunene? In what industry are you in? Let's start there, just so that our listener is clear who we've got in the building.
Okay, my stage name is NJ Kunene.
Yeah.
Kodwa ngathi mangifika la emhlabeni, my parents named me Zogele Njabulo Kunene.
Right.
So ngumtimande.
Oh,
I was born in Soweto. Then when I was 4 years old, we moved to Orange Farm. So home is Orange Farm. That's where I'm from.
Right. Right.
And I sort of got the name NJ when I did my first year at UJ. I got in there in Kamga Tuto Secondary. My English teacher would say, "Hey, the boy, come here." So, like, my English was not so full. But it was a great school,
Yeah.
because it's not, I don't want to get into the politics of it. But it was an amazing school. But when I got to varsity, I realized that most of the students who looked like me sort of went to the former Model C schools.
Right.
So there was a friend of mine, his name was Nemo, right?
Right.
His real name is Neo, but he called himself Nemo.
Nemo.
And I thought it was like cool, because it was yo bro lock. Yeah, yo bro. I was like, to fit in, one day he was just like, yo, NJ, which was a step up from, what I was used to being called, when my friends were teasing me about Nja. You're a ninja.
Right.
And then as you come closer to Njabulo,
Right.
So NJ was kind of like a step up, I felt.
So Nemo dubbed you NJ.
Exactly.
And you've held on to that since.
Exactly.
Nice. Where's Nemo today?
Is somewhere in South Africa doing his thing.
Nemo, if you're listening, man, holla at the brother. He's done some wonderful things and is about to blow up. Now, you're in the music industry.
Yes.
Let's talk about your music.
Well, to be honest, I'm a church boy through and through. That's where my first exposure to music came from. My parents sing, and so I would go with them to rehearsals and things like that.
Yeah.
And they're very committed to their craft. They would rehearse till like 3, 4 a.m. in the morning.
Right.
And so that stuck with me. And then when I got to varsity, I joined a church called Every Nation. And I was part of the worship team there, and I got to actually I was already writing songs, but one of the places actually that sort of confirmed me as a songwriter was when I wrote a song called Bayete, and it was well received within the church. Then got invited to join a band called We Will Worship, and that's what I did for 7 years. So my exposure has been within the gospel industry, because I've written songs for Lebus Khobela, Lois Obala, I've written for Verona Pillay, I've written for my good friend T. And I've written for a friend of mine, Greg, and I wrote a song called Love is Calling. This band is based in the States called the Ethnos Project, sort of loved it. My good friend Eric took it. And so I think more than anything, I've been more involved in the songwriting space. Most of the past 3 years.
Yeah.
Because I had to leave the band. But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah,
I know, actually. It was different ideologies.
Yeah. So what made you then want to move from behind the scenes to more forefront and behind the mic? And how big a transition is that?
I think I wouldn't, to say I was behind the scene, that's also
misrepresenting.
Exactly, because for the biggest time, I mean, like I was one of the lead band members for the band.
Right.
There's some of the biggest songs that we did, like Manibongwe, Baete, you know, Mlondolozi,
yes.
all these different songs. So
yes.
I think what the transition for me was moving from doing stuff in a band and actually doing my own thing. And then also just, yes, I'm a born again and a child of God. At the same time, I wanted to sing about love. At the same time, I wanted to own, there's certain stories that you own that sometimes, the church goes, nah. You know that there's a song we grew up singing, Bankuvile, Kokereke, Parina Kinwa Jwala. Certain things
and
like that.
And the church thought of that to be very controversial.
I mean, certain things
it wouldn't pass in the church.
There's certain things that as an adult now, and I go, nah, man, why would you not allow someone to come through just because on Latsa the next day? Like, it's not about that. It's about the spirit. So
NJ, you've dropped. Is it a single? Is it an EP? Is it an album?
It's a single for my upcoming EP called self-titled called Zwagele, and the song is called Ngizokthanda. I wrote it for a very special person in my life.
Right.
It's about celebrating a love that was a love that still is, and also celebrating what the love that could be. Yeah. So I hope you enjoy it. I'm very proud of it. I feature good friends of mine, Jeff, TEDx, and Norman the Sky.
And what genre is it for someone who's got a very strong gospel, if you may, background? What is this that you're going to be presenting to us today?
This is Afro pop. But then most like your foundation is your foundation.
Yeah.
So there's certain things there, like there's a line where I say there's certain things there that sort of speaks to the place I write my songs from, but it's a completely Afro pop song.
Why the change of gear? Why not spiritual religious music?
Hey, because I'm controversial. If I'm just being honest. No, there's certain things that I don't deem controversial, but people deem controversial.
Right.
But I've not really left the church space. I'm actually a minister in training. I'm a local preacher at the Methodist Church.
Right.
I'm a worship pastor at my church. I don't gig on Sundays.
And what is the church's response to you now going pop as opposed to gospel and spreading the word of the good Lord?
They're excited. I mean, funny thing you should say that. I was at Kitchener's last Saturday, and I did a set, and I did all these songs, and at the end there's a song of mine called Kichima that I wrote. And I mean, it has worldly influence, but it's a faith-based song, right? And gents were coming in, holding. I have a video of guys coming in with their beer and stuff, sitting there and actually connecting with the song.
Yeah.
So I think my challenge is that as a millennial, I see that a lot of us are not connecting with church as is. And unfortunately, the church is not catching up. We still want that whole traditional space. People are leaving the church, but they're not letting go of their spirituality. There's a difference.
And the world is changing.
Yeah, because the world is changing. So I want to be able to go to where they are and actually have a great, because I don't just want to sing songs to usher you into the presence of the Lord.
Right.
I also want to have fun. I want to enjoy, and if you seen Muslim song on stage, she was electrifying, and there was just freedom that you cannot talk about. But yeah.
Hold the thought. Let's get paid and let's come back and play NJ Kunene. Ngizokthanda is the song, right?
Yes.
We'll talk about why in particular you launched this one as your plug track. It is 12:40 on KFM 95.9.
Afropolitan, Kaya FM.
Kaya FM.
Yali, iculo lenhliziyo yami. Kusena mina ntambama ihlale ihlabelela. Thando lakho lunginikeza intokozo. La ngithola lapho mina ngi
Orange Farm, stand up. Your boy is in the building. NJ Kunene with Ngizokthanda. Goodness gracious. When you said Afro pop, I didn't imagine something of this magnitude. This is amazing.
Thank you.
This is super duper fly.
Thank you.
How you feeling?
I was telling you off air that this is not a small feat for me. This is huge because I have Dalangzama, you know,
Yeah.
and as a creative, you know, you write on Twitter that you're a singer-songwriter and people say, oh, code name for unemployed. and then you realize that because now you're an unemployed graduate, one,
Yeah.
and then at the same time you have nothing but these songs that you're like, okay, I know this is great. Like if I can just get one shot, one shot, I can introduce it to something new. But just getting there is such a mission. You know, booking studio time out of your own money without even knowing that your song is gonna get playlisted or not. So
Yeah.
thank you, Kaya FM.
Is this
Thank
your
you so much.
your first interview, and what have some of been the challenges building up to this very moment here?
Well, I mean, I've been going through to. I have to give props to some of the local radio stations that have given me the platforms, like Newcastle FM and different online radio stations. But then also Kwena in his show, big ups to Zanele and them. They had power because they gave me a shot to actually talk about it. It was early in the morning. I drove from Orange Farm to get there, and it was quite an experience. And so to come to, I mean, come on, like Kaya FM, I mean, come on.
You're home here.
Dude,
brother.
Sekhaya.
This is home. Sekhaya.
Yabona mos, that's why ngazi kahle ukuthi ngashintsha ngikhuluma isiZulu bese ngiyaqhubeka
Ukhululeke
English
futhi.
ngikhululeka. No one is going to go, oh, the
Who's that
medium
guy?
is, you know, that no one is going to, you know. So just to get this opportunity, you know, it's massive.
My brother, we are here for you. However and whichever way we can help.
Oh,
Where to from here? What is the bigger picture? When is the full album dropping? How can people get a hold of your music?
All right. So I am at Kitchener's next week Saturday at from 3 p.m. So there's something that we're trying to do there. I'm still also I'm part of the Mandela Day Planning Committee. We've partnered with a school called Iputeng, primary school in Alex. So we're going to be having our Mandela Day thingy on the 27th.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to have a free concert for the kids. That's where I'm going to be at. But my social media platforms, I'm NJ_Kunene on Twitter, on Instagram, and I'm NJ Kunene on Facebook. You can also check out my blogs on my website, www.njkunenebookings.com. Yeah,
Nice.
Social media, that's where I live.
It was wonderful having you here.
Thank you so
Wishing
much.
you all of the best in the industry.
Thank you.
And let's talk some more when the full album drops.
Ngiyabonga
Okuhle kodwa mntakwethu.
kakhulu.
There he goes. NJ Kunene, Ngizokthanda.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm sorry.